So I wanted to talk about this time last week. I actually was in Sydney for a movie called Artifact, where I got the opportunity to meet Jared Leto. And Jared Leto is one of the biggest inspirations for me in my life. He has this burning desire to do everything on earth, and I really align myself with those values and really believe in following your dreams and things like that. So it was a real privilege to have the opportunity to meet him through Adventures in Wonderland. So I wanted to talk about meeting him, and I wanted to talk about the fact that when you have an idol, people say you should never meet your idols, or you should never meet your people that you put up on a pedestal so high. But I kind of agree with that in a way, but I also think that it's very important to meet the people who you look up to and who make you want to follow your dreams and really inspire you, and be able to have the opportunity to tell them that. And that's exactly what I did with Jared Leto. So people I noticed at the Sydney Artifact were very, very nervous and anxious, and that's not to say that I was as well, but at the end of the day, he is a human being, and he was just very good at what he does, good at whatever he does. So I was quite calm about the whole situation, so then I got to ask him about Pigeon and about it. He really loved it and talked to me for 15 minutes about One thing I noticed with Jared Leto is that everyone was very intense, very nervous, and that comes from the fact that he's also a very serious person, but everyone's quite scared and intimidated by him, and I feel intimidated to a point, but I also feel very inspired. So when the opportunity came up after the film Artifact, which I'll link the trailer below, you have to see this film. It's fantastic. If you're a creative person and you're in the music industry, you need to see this film. It's amazing. But he came in and sat down and started talking to us about dreams. And he said, "Who here has a dream?" Majority of people put up their hand, and then he said, "Who here is doing something towards that dream?" Majority of people put up their hand again, but not as much. And then he said, "And who has doubts and fears about their dream?" And I'm pretty sure everyone in the room put up their hand. I was in the front row, so I didn't actually see back, which was quite exciting to be that close to him. But pretty sure I sensed that everyone in the room put their hand up for that question. And he said, "I'll let you in on a little secret. I also have doubts and fears." And that, for me, was the instant, no more anxious, nerves, nothing. He's a normal person. He's talking to us on a level that we can appreciate and we understand. And he was on the same page, and he said, "There is nothing special about me. I just work really, really hard." And that was just like, he's a person who just works very hard and strives for what he wants. He bleeds for what he wants. He follows his dreams, and that's not to say that he makes sacrifices doing that with his relationships. And the question was how sometimes his friendships and relationships don't work because he makes sacrifices for what he wants, and that can get quite painful sometimes because it can be lonely. And so we talked a little bit about that, and just kind of said like, his dream, he's happy with his dreams and stuff, but it does get quite painful because you're lonely. And I just thought that was really interesting that he mentioned that, and it made him seem very real and very human. And I think, the lyric in his song Search and Destroy from This Is War album, which the documentary Artifact is about, it says a lot about that. There's a song here, Search and Destroy, it says, it's a lot to blame on the burden of my dreams. And I think that line says a lot about him and his expectations of himself. and his dreams that he wants to achieve, and you know, there's a lot to blame on the burden of his dreams. So you know, I think he's a very diverse character, so it was really interesting to kind of see that. I got the opportunity to ask him. I explained to him how grateful I was that he gave me the courage to exist and follow my dreams, and that because of that reason I was actually attending every show around Australia, and it was a privilege to do that. And you know, it was I was really happy to have the opportunity to ask him this question. He was really grateful that I said that, and I asked him if he's been in the music industry for 20 years, or you know, almost 20 years, and he's seen the changing face of record sales, companies collapsing, you know, going digital, and the changing face of technology. And I was wondering if he was nervous, as everyone else is, about the changes, or whether he kind of welcomes the challenge and feels excited about it. And he was really grateful that I asked that question, and he said straight away off the bat, he was like, no, I feel really excited about it. I think the changes are great. You know, we've had some troubles and we're still in debt, which is crazy that we're still in debt to the record company, but we're still in debt, and we still do sold out shows all over the world. You know, Europe, our shows were great. You know, we get to travel. There are other opportunities that you can endeavour in. He started up his company Vert, so he kind of talked a little bit about Vert and said how, you know, it's all about making yourself seem like what you have is invaluable to the customer, to the consumer. So it's a little bit like sales, I guess, marketing, but like he said, like, you know, if you make an album and people want to buy that album because it's just so beautiful that you just want to be a part of it. And Love, Lust, Faith and Dreams, the latest album, is a listening experience. It's an amazing album. It definitely grew on me after a while because it was very electronic based, which I wasn't, you know, obviously used to with 30 Seconds to Mars, but it definitely grew on me. And so he talks a little bit about that, and he talked, you know, about the expectations he has in the industry, and how everyone needs to move forward with this digital age and stopping letting doubt and fear basically ruling their chances of actually doing something, because he's also, you know, we live in a world where we're so global but we're so alone at the same time, things, and we need to take advantage of anything like that. And then he's saying, so very much, that was a question that, and I was thankfully happy that really good, and that because some people asked, you know, if you wanted to narrow films, feature film next, because I know we're going to go into directing. And then, you know, asked how he has the burning desire to do everything, and you know, one girl was writing on paper about art versus commerce, and she'd asked him a little bit about that. So there was all different kinds of questions, and he was more than happy to answer them. But I'm thankful that I got to ask the one that I did, because I don't really think that's been asked before, and it directly linked to Artifact as well, which some of the questions didn't link to Artifact. So then you have the process after that of getting a photo, and my photo with Jared Leto, it grew on me a lot. I felt like I was over smiling a little bit because I was like so happy, and then he obviously is doing like his sultry look that he always does, so I was like, damn, I wish he was smiling. I wish I wasn't smiling as much, but it's definitely grown on me because I just look so happy in it, and I am so happy. So yeah, there's a process. It's kind of like cattle call in a way. It's not very intimate at all. Like, you kind of just get, the first row goes through, you get photo. But a hug takes a second. So if you do go to the Artifact premiere, or get the opportunity to meet Jared or someone that you admire a lot, just remember that a hug takes a second, and you know, it is okay to hug them. Like, as soon as I walked up to Jared, he was like, hey Tiger, and I said hi. I gave him a massive hug, and you know, I said, it's nice to meet you, and he's like, oh, thank you very much, and then took the photo, and I said, I can't wait to see tonight's show, and he said, thank you very much. He was what I wanted to do. I wanted to go in, be confident, and say exactly what I wanted to say to him, give him a big hug, thank him, walk off, and he seemed to be very grateful for that. A lot of people just kind of walked in, got a photo, and were like, oh, thanks. and like walked off, and then afterwards they're like, oh man, I wish I said some more and stuff. So my advice is that if you are meeting someone who you admire a lot, or you know, in a similar situation to myself, that you really think about what you're going to say and really you project out when the time comes. But it was, they are just people, and they're just really what they do. So it's great, and you know, Jared recognised me in the audience and pointed me out and stuff, but the whole experience, like following 30 Seconds to Mars, my favourite band around the country, has been amazing, and I got to meet Jared Leto, my idol, and you know, he was great. He's a very serious person, very intense. I feel like, you know, he obviously has a laugh every now and again, but he definitely has this authority that he portrays when he steps in the room, and he kind of has this aura that you just want to be a part of. Like he just oozes confidence, and you just can't help but like soak it all up and listen to him. That's what it was like for me anyway. So that was amazing to be able to witness that in my life, and I'll definitely do Artifact again. So that was my experience, and I hope that I helped in some way. If you're watching this thinking about going to the premiere of Artifact in another country, it's amazing, and just really think about what you're going to ask Jared, and don't be afraid. He's just a human being, and he's really nice. And I think that you should definitely watch the film. I think it's available on iTunes now, but you can also buy it on Vert if you want to. It's not very expensive, and it's a really good documentary about the film industry, and it's really interesting. So that's what I wanted to share about meeting Jared Leto, or you know, kind of meeting famous people, how to act. The next video, I think I'll talk a little bit about meeting 30 Seconds to Mars, because the next day I met them, so that was in Brisbane. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more things like this, subscribe. I'm going to do a little bit on Europe as well, because I went to Europe last year, and I went to France, England, Scotland, Ireland, Spain and Italy. So I'm going to talk about how to pack for Europe and like do it on a budget, because I think I spent like $6 grand. I didn't really spend much. So I'm going to start a series of that. So if you want to see more of them, please subscribe, thumbs up this video. I've got all my details down below, Instagram, all that. So I hope you have a lovely day, and you know, if you have any questions, leave the link in the comments.